Alright. Hello everybody. So, today I would like to explore the world and not just the world but the game Cultist Simulator. What kind of genre is this? A cards-based narrative game. There we go, let's call it that. An amazing little game came out a few years ago, made up by the developers who worked on the browser game Fallen London, and I think at the time also had worked on Sunless Sea, before making their own studio called Weather Factory, who have produced this game, Cultist Simulator, and the Book of Hours. I haven't played the Book of Hours, so I can't really recommend it, but I can really recommend Cultist Simulator. Let's get started. So just so we can show off the game. I've got the... Let's go with... the Bright Young Thing. It's not exactly the default start, but it's not far from it. Endowed from birth with wealth and talent, a life of ease, comfort, and delight stretches ahead like an amber carpet. I do like how this game does the description. It becomes really esoteric and hard to understand, but that's kind of the point. You have to think about it in occult, strange ways. I miss the dawn. I generally do. There'll be plenty more. Here's how the game works. Okay, pause. I'm just gonna have my little card thingy-majigs. These are where the cards go whenever you play them. I'm gonna name myself Mott. There we go. So, the game works like this. These little square thingies are verbs. This one is work. Whenever I put something in there, it's to work on it, or work with it, or work it. There'll be plenty more, dream, explore, that kind of stuff. We have cards down there. All cards have little descriptors. Whenever you hover over them, you get to see what they mean, what they do. Yep. And as you work with and have more and more and more cards, you can use all of these weird esoteric symbols and ingredients to make things happen. Let's stay with that. I played the game a while back, but I think I've lost most of the esoteric occult knowledge I've accumulated. So here's the plan. I'm not going to beat the game today. What I want to do is go for one of the side endings. It's not exactly a victory, but it won't exactly be a defeat either. And to do that, I'm going to have to rediscover most of my occult knowledge. We're going to start with the tutorial. I'll read most things out loud. And after a while, I'll start skipping through and only show you guys the interesting bits of stuff that happens. So let's get started. First of all, let's do this and that. A golden day of occasional work. Possibly I get something done today. And now we play. Most actions have time. That's why after a while you're gonna get weird interactions with multiple timed stuff. It's all going swimmingly, although Papa's health is not improving. Explore has been unlocked. Okay, pause. Let's collect our cards. So we have this and that again. And some monies. Oh, let me just grab the whole group. Alright. I can keep doing this and that. Just repeat it. The shortcuts are really gonna come in handy. A world of possibilities. If I ever have trouble deciding how to spend my money, the good people of these spots can certainly be of assistance. The Ectsis Club, a cabaret with occult reputation, and Oriflame's auction. They specialize in curios and stuff. I think we're gonna keep most of our money for now. I'm probably gonna... Actually, I might need to explore stuff. We'll see. Oh. Although it's going swimmingly, although Papa's health is not improving, got some money. Now time is passing. As time passes, we're gonna have to pay stuff. So if we don't make any money, we're gonna have a game over. Let's go back. We're doing this and that. Let's explore the auction. We perch on alarming rift-tailed chairs in a windowless auction room with vividly burnt orange walls, waiting for the auctioneer to announce what he's offering. The reek of new paint makes the brain spin. Hit start to see what's on offer, or add an item if you'd like to sell. But I don't want to sell anything. I don't have anything to sell. So, a book is being bid. De Bellis Morum. It's in Latin. Yeah, okay, in Latin. An 18th century epic poem by the pseudonymous Solipsistus. I feel like most of these books are actually real. I know The Secret Histories by Procopius is certainly a real book. Hopefully we're gonna see it show up eventually. We don't know how to read Latin, but I'm still gonna buy the book. Because we're rich, and that's what you do. I've raised my hand. The auctioneer wraps up an acknowledgement. Will anyone match me? If somebody matched me, I don't think I'm gonna buy this book. Let's fast forward a bit. Boop. This and that is about to stop. Yoink. Collect. Restart. And we just have the auction one. Yay, I got a book I can't read in Latin. Let's go to the Ecdis Club. Entry. I think I need to put money. Yeah. Boop. The entrance is lost beneath the soft drapes of crimson, cinnabar, and arcanadine. Above the door, the club motto: Ingirum imus nocte et consumi mor igni. Has been rendered as into the night's circle we fly until the fire enjoys us. Does it? Into night's circle we fly. Ingirum imus nocte. That seems like it's spelled weird. I don't know. I don't like. My Latin is not good enough to tell the difference between clerical Latin and old-timey Latin. It definitely seemed like Latin, though. We're just waiting for stuff to happen. I purchase pleasure. I reel home in the ungodly hours and collapse into bed. Look at this amazing life we lead. I wonder how I'm gonna be able to ruin that. Oh. I have a new verb. A light in the skull. Whenever the principle of the lantern sheds its lights, I may recall additional scraps of knowledge. And this is the principle of lantern. Yeah, feelings. You can use feelings as a resource. You can use information. You can use money, your own health. It's gonna get wonky. Uh-oh. Ghastly news. My papa is dead. No one will tell me exactly how, but the estate is in a state. My allowance is tied up in probate and so forth. One can only hope it's resolved before the bills come due. Oh boy. And we don't have this and that anymore. Just funds. Oh boy, I'm gonna have to work now for a living. No, the horror. Let's just coast by with whatever we have. We don't need to work. Not yet. What if I use my health to explore? Crowded thoroughfare by day, a fog-wrapped labyrinth by night. I'll walk the streets seeking secrets until I can walk no more. That might be a bad idea. Let's just see what happens. I don't want to lose all my health on the first day. Erudition. I soak up knowledge as a shadow soaks up light. I may be close to advancement. Erudition can be used with study to gain reason. We have reason, health, and passion as stats to use, but I haven't unlocked them all yet. We need to let the story play on before we have all of our stats unlocked. Traveling in the air, the sun flickers like a shadow. Dreams ripple behind the surface of mirrors. I must be careful not to drift from the waking world. Cold stuff. No need to worry about it. Up. Puzzling papers. I have received papers belonging... I am to receive papers found among Papa's belongings, which might perhaps shed some sort of light on where exactly the hell all the money has gone. Okay. Oh, all the money's gone too, huh? That's not good. The business of the will has been settled. Papa's business affairs have been eaten up by debt like woodworm. No one seems to know exactly what he spent the money on, but the solicitors is sending me some papers apparently. Oh boy. We have 26 monies. That's still a lot of money. That's amazing amount of money. Also, we have 3 health now. So I'm gonna work a bit. Unskilled labor. Backbreaking work for meager pay. Is it the best I can do? I mean, maybe not. Let me go back to the auction too. I'm gonna buy stuff. Whoa. Wait. I think I'm dreaming now. I've got dreams! The house without walls. The dream begins. Papa spoke of them. He said that his father before him has been troubled. Something within in our blood. A biting melancholy that kills the soul. Yay. I received the papers. Poor Papa. Page after page after page of disparate squalls on an invisible house and the colors of the sleep and the invisible gods behind the world. But do you know? The more I read, the more it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense, but it does hang together. And here's Papa's diary. A cipher diary and a book. My deed, my power, my achievements, and the injustices perpetrated against me. It's written in Fushine. People lived east of the lost lake Fushio. Horace warned that theirs was the land of witches. This was their language, called by some the dry tongue, and by others the tongue of witches. Well, can't read that either. What about the journal? I probably need to work on it. You guys are selling another book. The Horace, another Latin book. I'll buy it. I'm hoping I can learn Latin soon, though. Am I not a rich boy? Didn't I get to read Latin? Studying a troubling diary. Papa's diary. It is a catalog of his obsessions. Perhaps it will make some sort of sense of the recent events. Let's do that. Over there, we got a fleeting reminiscence. A moment in time. Another moment, it'll be gone. I'm just waiting to get all my stats, and then that'll be the real game. The real game start. Summoning a stranger. I've contacted the individual named in this troubling document. I have little reason to believe they will be able to enlighten me on the nature of what went before, but perhaps they can help with what is to come. The name of Memdi appears again and again in these pages. There were a locus of impossibility, a fount of the future, one who has cut the eye. Ugh, doggy. That was the dog. One who has cut the eye. On the last page, there's a correspondence address and a name. Also, reason, another stat. A red secret. Some words are spelled correctly, others only when the proper ink is used. That's a scrap of occult knowledge. The more we have, the better, basically, if we want to run a cult. I'm not going to be running a cult. Not a big cult anyway, just enough to summon a demon so I can kill whoever's going to be in my way. Okay, let's study our reason. Read whatever is at hand. The world's awash with printed words. Even the newspapers contain knowledge, sometimes. Bleak thoughts from my dreams. This is the let me organize. So we have the dream action, the work action, the explore action, the study action, and here's gonna be the talk action. We have some space on our board. We have plenty of space. Look at how big the board is. We'll have space. And this is the talk action. We won't be talking or exploring too much, I think. The house without walls. I dream of a shriveling light, a sun that crisps snow, but does not melt it. When I wake, my room is always cold. A chilly atmosphere. A peculiar chill lingers in my room. A second-order influence, apparent to the perceptive, instantly recognizable by an adept. They can be used as some rice and blah 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 blah. And we have some passion. We have our stats. So, passion, reason, and health. Obviously, if you don't have any health, you die. Passion and reason can be used for lots of occult things, or for work. You can work with your passion, you can work with your reason. I'm gonna try and do some work with my reason and go all the way to the end of that path. And hopefully by the end, we should be able to get a job and finish the game on a not exactly victory. So, I'm gonna start building together a cult. See you guys when that happens. I'm about to finish contacting whoever it was that we found in our Papa's journal. Let's see what happens. My new acquaintance speaks authoritatively of Papa. He knew he was dying. He had hoped to taste unknown pleasures before his end. Pleasures denied to a healthy society. My new acquaintance suggests that I might finish what he began. But if I do so, I might save myself from the despair which haunts my family. Poppy Lascelles, an amiable woman of property. She likes to talk to me. She's immortal and a patron. And also, temptation, sensation. I could achieve experiences of an intensity few could imagine. This card allows me to win with a sensation victory. If I upgrade it far enough, dreaming about it might advance or change it. Yeah, so this is gonna be ours. If we want to actually win the game, we have to become an elder being of temptation and sensation and whatnot. We're not gonna be doing that, so let's just put that in the corner. Oh, okay, we won't be doing that. I think that's the end of the chain of events that are gonna make the start of this campaign. So I'm gonna try and find some recruits, start a cult, summon some demons, kill my boss, and graduate and get a promotion and whatnot. See you when that happens. It looks like I'm dreaming about something weird. A dream of doors. I'm getting a bunch of stuff piled up. I dream of opening doors, red doors and gold doors, and doors of glass and doors bound like books, and railway carriage doors and castle gates. Behind one was the something I seek. I woke with the stabbing of doors still in my ears. I got some restlessness. That's not great. Okay, as I've been exploring, I found a little bookshop with a bunch of dangerous and rare books. So that's where I'm gonna, from now on, if you see a bunch of books on the right, that's where I'm gonna be getting them. Also, I'm pretty sure I'm working on improving my statistics, so I already got more reason and a skill, scholarship. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm just upgrading my stats, building up, preparing. Okay, here's a neat trick. As you can see, I have a bit of despair going on over there, bleak thoughts. And I have 2 despair cards. If I get 3 of them, my guy's gonna go into despair and die. But here's the trick. Contentment counters the despair. But if I let things go as they are, the game's gonna grab a dread card and make things worse. But here's the thing you can do. I'm gonna pick up the card, hold it, and let things play out. Bam. So just like that, I can manipulate which cards gets dragged into which parts. That's coming really handy to manage feelings and stuff, like I just did. Anyway, back to the grind. Okay, so I've been mostly trying to buy a gajillion books. I spent all my money on books, so as you can see, we have 12. Let's see, 4, 8, 12, 16, about 20 books. Yeah, we have 20 books in total. I've also been working on upgrading my stats. I'm currently working on reason. I've already done a bunch of upgrades on health. Next is going to be passion. The reason I'm going to upgrade all these stats is the more stats you have, the more flexible you are. Also, upgrade health, because that way it's going to be harder for you to die of illness or random damage. Anyway, because I'm kind of out of money, I'm producing money faster than I can use it. My current work cycle is I do physical labor for 50 seconds, and it's 60 seconds for me to spend 1 money, so I can slowly accumulate money, but that won't be enough. So as soon as we have good reason built up, I'm gonna take an erudition-based job to make more money, and that's where our real game is gonna begin. But in the meanwhile, I'm gonna be reading all these books. I'm gonna be reading the description, you know, the introduction, the little description when you study them, and the ending. So you're gonna get a bunch of occult knowledge right now. Okay, so see when that happens. Okay, actually, before I start reading a bunch of books, I'm gonna first get a job. So while we read a bunch of books, we'll also gain money. So let me just first do that. Work, reason, find clerical work. Find work which will spare my body, if not my mind. Ooh, a desk, like the 80s or whenever this takes place. Glover and Glover have offered me a junior position. I start at 8 sharp tomorrow morning. Junior position at Glover and Glover. My intellect should be put to better use, but the pay is better than laborer's work. If you don't attend this job regularly, you might suffer demotion. So yeah, because your rituals, exploration, cult activities take up your work slot. Eventually, if you want to get real deep into the cult, the occult stuff, to become an immortal eldritch being, you're gonna have to quit your job. But my intention today is to go and become the best, become the jobbiest job person. So let's go and work. The scratching of pens, the sourness of dust, the sightings of the younger Glover, the greedy gurgling of the elder. So we have to put some diligence. So we use our reason. I will apply extra effort. Perhaps they'll appreciate it. So that's gonna be what we do. See you later. Okay, so I got a promotion. I'm better paid than I was, but Mr. Alden has taken an interest in me. Mr. Alden is very particular. Mr. Alden likes things done just so, and Mr. Alden has never believed that I'm qualified for this position. That's not great. This card now has an annoyance. There's a thorn in my side. I may yet find a way to remove it. With demons, baby. Work overtime at Mr. Alden's insistence. I do not believe that you have properly understood the importance of our work here. This task requires your full attention. Add reasons or lose your job. Here's some reason. The work is complete when I have assessed the work as complete, and not before. I trust we understand each other. Oh boy. Also, yeah, I kind of figured out how to do the cult. I was just doing it wrong. I need to run around with my small snippet of occult knowledge and shout about it in the streets. On this occasion, I have determined your work is of an acceptable standard. You may go. Be punctual tomorrow, please. There may be ways to deal with Mr. Alden. Alright. I know. Let me just go and find some demons. At least it pays well. It pays better than my physical labor job. Much better. In fact, so much better. I might even restart buying books. We'll see. Anyway, back to it. Okay, so I ran around with a occult secret, and I found an acquaintance. And now I'm using my passion to convince them to join us. And I don't know, kill people. Also, work overtime with Mr. Alden is getting a bit needy. He's getting annoying. Especially because if I don't put the reason to that slot, I'm gonna get a demotion or something. Okay, so we got some mystique. Uncanniness lingers. Mystique may attract the attention of hunters. They can't use it to build a case against you, but it will encourage them to look harder. And we have over here Pops, Clifton, an acquaintance. A bellowing and unorthodox Catholic with a mystic streak and an untrimmed beard. I could be able to recruit him as a follower. Let me see how to do that. Here. A new beginning. Here's someone that I might work with, a companion or a follower. But first I must give them something to follow. A society. A solidarity. A sodality. An order. A cult. Let me just give it a sec. But found a mystical organization. And now we have a notoriety. This is what hunters can use to build a case against you, so you want to hold out on that whenever they show up. I have a bunch of mystique to shield you. A founding principle. The only one I use lore. That's the only piece of lore of occult lore I have, so that's what we're gonna use. An occult society dedicated to the mysteries of birth, blood, and appetite. Weh. Yes. Hunger. Anyway, back to it. It looks like my cult requires me to give up some passion for it. I don't remember cults always doing that. Also, as for my first recruit, here he is, first recruit. Also, Mr. Alden did ask me to do any overtime work, I think. So I'm getting hungry again. This is the hunger. This is the hunger card. Makes me feel restless. I'm also working on my passion to get more of it. Up. Okay, our rise begins. I have founded my cult. This is a step to greater power. Use your cult to recruit and promote followers. Start with followers about your cult to set them out on business. Temporary headquarters. Our business is private. We could use somewhere more secret. And the Order of the Bloody Culp. An occult society dedicated to the mysteries of birth, blood, and appetite. You can use this to do a bunch of stuff. Cult, baby! The blood, birth, appetite cult. Sounds very cannibalistic. What if I explore my headquarters? I can't. Okay, well, never mind. Now's the time. Once I'm done upgrading my passion, we're gonna spend a whole bunch of time reading all these books and exploring around for a bit. So see when that happens. I now have a wary detective looking into me. This gentleman would much rather be left alone, but his with his pipe and his illustrated London news. But no, apparently some conjurer of abomination has to be hunted down by like a mad dog, and apparently no one else can find the time. So as long as we don't mess with him, he won't mess with us, I think. We'll see. Okay, so I've officially raised all my stats to an appropriate level. So we now have 5 health, 4 reason, and 4 passion. I could get them higher still. I think they all have 1 or 2 more rank of a tier of advancement, but that'll be all we need, I think. So from now on, I'm going to be reading a bunch of books, so let's get strapped in for book reading. I'm hoping one of these books is going to have rituals, the rituals we need to summon some demons. How the game's occult stuff works is, once this thing is free, I can have a ritual. Ritual are basically blueprints, and then you fill them in with stuff. So we can have rituals that use feelings, a follower, and a tool, or a ritual that uses a lore, some lore over there, some lore, some ingredients, consumables, our own health, a body, that kind of stuff. They're free flowing, and whatever you put in there is gonna the qualities you see over there. That's what's gonna determine the result. Some of these feelings we have, for example, can be quite useful if we know how to use them. So let's get started. First of all, we have what we need to read: Sanskrit, a lucid book which outlines a careful path through the thicket of vast of a complex language. So we can now read if I read this book, I can translate books from Sanskrit to normal, then read the normal book. Kunner and Gurf's Ausforschli Grammatik der Griechischen Sprache, a Greek grammar, the essential weapon for a ferocious struggle with challenging language. So we can translate Greek, Sanskrit, and Latin. Gildersleeve's Latin grammar. Let's start with all the books that aren't in Latin or Greek or Sanskrit, and we'll work our way up there. So first and foremost, Apollo and Marsyas. The libretto of a lost opera concerning the contest between Apollo and Marsyas, and its tragic outcome. The librettist is identified only by their initial RKNJI. Study. In the original myth, Marsyas lost a musical contest and was flayed by Apollo, who later regretted it. In this version, Marsyas' skin has a further history. Ooh. Okay, see you in 60 seconds. The skin of Marsyas gives oracles, and is later smuggled to Phrygia, where the priestesses of Cybele use it for a drumhead. At the opera's climax, the pounding of the drum drives would-be violators of the priestesses to suicidal madness. The opera ends with a wishful hymn from the young Gilgis priestess on the beauty of mountain pines. We now have a new secret. There are common sentiments in every thunderclap. Let us acknowledge them. Ooh, new lore. Let's keep going. Here's The Locksmith's Dream, A Light Through the Keyhole. The first volume of Teresa Gralmier's examinations of the parallels in the mystic dreams of artisans. Do I have the second edition? We have a bunch of books. No, we only have the first edition. There's multiple volumes that we can find. The parallels in mystic dreams experienced by carpenters, masons, and other artisans, and what they purport to reveal about the architecture of the world. Sometimes mordant, sometimes funny. No one has ever explained why Galmier devoted herself to this quite exotic exploration of artisans' dreams. And again, we hear from the woods, which rises from the world's foundation. All trees reach for the light. What does the wood reach for? Is there a difference between light and light? I think the key to the dreams of the wood might be in one of these. The one that isn't exactly real. We now have a Watchman's secret. It has been expressed like this: each shower has its color, but colors exist only where there is light. And now, if I dream... Why, I can't dream, because I'm currently being healed. Okay, well, once we're healed, I can dream, I think. Pretty sure. Passion. And if I put this secret in there... The bleached way. I could sleep in a room without colors, bleach the sheets, whitewash the walls, dye my hair, and paint my skin. Why? Because. Okay, I'm currently dying of despair, but there's a quick and easy fix for that, which is get a lot of opium. As long as we have the money for opium, we can buy a bunch of stuff, and everything will be fine. I'll just buy one bit of opium, hoping we get some happy thoughts to counter the despair. But first, the dreams are about to pop off. Oh, let me not. Colors exist only where there is light, and the wood is the place where light does not walk. In the dream, I close my eyes and walk, stumbling, bruising my feet and knees. At the last, the undergrowth before me grows too thick to pass, and when I open my eyes, I am adrift among the black trees. Shadows flutter. My feet will know the way back to the place. And I have the woods! I have learned the path to the wood, the tangled darkness that grows around the walls of the mansus, though the mansus has no walls. I can dream with this to return to the wood. I might do that, but first let me get some opium. Oop. The substance of intellectuals. Oop. A tincture of opium. In times of a special crisis, I might visit a discreet pharmacist to purchase a tincture of opium and make my dreams sweet, but only in times of a special crisis. This is an expensive and risky way to gain contentment. Could be sick or despairing. If it's despairing, I'm gonna die. That's just it. Anyway, next book. The War of the Roads, 1450 to 1580, censored edition. Willis Ford described the War of the Roads, an event in a history other than our own, in detail, but numerous pages have been removed. The name of this publisher is blacked out, and an anonymous slip stapled to the cover explained that Willis Ford has been excised. In this past, a score more of longs were made. They brokered peace with the Forge of Days, long enough to set England on a path of early conquest and eventual destruction. The Forge itself devoured the greatest amongst them. Okay. Let's see what happens. The royalty of England, according to Willis Ford, became the sovereigns of the leashed flame, destroying or transforming their enemies, conquering Europe, establishing grand cathedrals to Saint Spark. The alliance with the Forge begins to take its toll. The last few chapters are missing entirely. A furtive truth. A detail smuggled in from an adjacent narrative. Don't speak this or you may be overheard. Exploring with this scrap may unlock secret locations in the Shires. Alright. Well, my cult is not doing anything right now, so I think we're gonna recruit a couple more. We're gonna recruit a couple more followers and explore some locations. Let's do that. Also, next book. The Viennese Conundra. Nicole Van Drale describes odd events in Vienna. The disappearance of children, epidemics of parasites activity, animal mutilations, nightmares of worms, the activities of charitable organizations, the New Lygians, that funds the Bureau of the Poor. She proposes peculiar connections between these activities. Up. When the individual's K attends the meetings, black dogs are sacrificed and quartered. When the individual M is in attendance, black mare are found with their throats slashed. I propose that these sacrifices are not necessary, but that our Lygian friends may consider them fitting. Herewith diagrams of the mutilation. Nice. That's what I want to see. Medusa's riddle, then I choose to render as what is not seen. There's another riddle, one I have heard rendered as what may be lost. I delineate some historic attempts to censor it. These are in themselves, in some sense, sacrifices. A Ixdiast parable. The Ixdiast riddle is what may be lost. Each Ixdiast parable is an attempt to answer the riddle. Alright. That's a strong secret. Level 6. Jeez. Next book. This one is in Greek, so let's just put it aside. This one is fine. The Locksmith's Dream. Portions and Proportions. The second volume of Teresa Gamlier's examinations of parallels in the mystic dreams of artisans. The front piece has been slashed with a razor. Right? The volume Galmi recurs fewer dreams and explicates more of her own elaborate theories. We see this again and again. What is below can't escape what is above. Strange. Back to it. The finest artisans all dream of the white door in the end. I'm no artisan, only a scholar. I think there's a secret that all these artisans know, but I think that secret is only half the story. A locksmith's secret. Sooner or later, every locksmith has the dream. But now we recited 7 phrases. Nearly every summoning rite requires knock influence. This lore will provide it. Well, look at that. That's useful to know. Some summoning stuff. Next book. I've seen we have 2 volumes of Traveling at Night, Volume 1 and Volume 2. Let's read them. The Annotated Dream Journal of Christopher Ilpolly, sometimes called the only readable occultist. Literate, entertaining, bewildering. The wood lies outside the walls of the Mansus. As any student of the histories knows, the Mansus has no walls. Comes up again. Okay, let's go to the woods. if I have enough passion, I can walk the dream road to the wood. If I have the right knowledge, I might be able to find a way beyond it. Employ passion to enter the woods, or with the right lore, find a way to the white door. That must be this one. There is a house in the wood. There's much I know. Here is the light through the trees, but it's not enough. Okay, that's not enough. Okay, well, I don't know. I don't know what else to put in there. What about this one? Nope. This one? Yes, but it's not enough. Our our secrets aren't strong enough. Let's just use passion. Also, the book is about to be read. Give me a sec. Give me 10 seconds. Like 5 seconds. I don't know how much fast forward is the fast forward. Ilpali describes how he came to make a repeated visit to a dream, wood, via what it calls silver dreams. Trying to think your way to the wood, he explains, is like thinking your way to being in love, but I did find a secret that helped. A barber's warning. A power of the wood enjoys the separation of the lock from the scalp, but for attention, burn it. For opportunity, bury it. Speak this over a corpse in the right with an influence present, and the corpse will rise. Oh, thanks. Maybe I can make a zombie to kill my boss. We'll see. Well. Here we have the woods. I can take this occult scrap, which can be used to find new locations, or try and figure out what these two locations give us. Every location has a set amount of things they give, like 3 things, I think. It can be bad, it can be good. I'm gonna take this occult scrap. Okay, good to know what these things do. Yoink. I walked in the wood last night, and the scissors worked in the distance of the furred things carried in my mouth, and sore in my ears, and I felt the old urge to drop the wolf fours and nose among the roots. But I remembered that I walk upright by day, and I know fire and steel and words, and at last I found where the velvet had concealed a secret on tree bark, beneath moss. I read it, and then with the tips of my fingers, and I think now I could write it in full. Yoink. An occult scrap. Secret histories are layered beneath the one we know, like the notes in a rare wine. This is detail from one of those histories. Cool. I'm gonna keep dreaming in the woods, and see if we can get to the beyond that. Eventually. Okay, next book. We found Traveling at Night Volume 1, let's go for Volume 2. This is the second volume, same description as before. There's an extensive discussion of the similarities between Ilpali's own dreams and those of Emperor Elagabalus, who Ilpali regards as a dupe, or avatar of the sun in rags. The white is west of the world, Ilpali remarks, and winter does not wait forever. Emperor Elagabalus was a Roman emperor of a weird occult cult of the sun. Did lots of weird stuff, basically. Basic TLDR. It's a real figure who did real occult stuff. Occult is maybe a strong word. Strange stuff. Let's go with that. Strange stuff. The velvet is strong, and the well in the wood, and the velvet is the hour that keeps secret. But now and then she lets a little secret fall, like a crumb at a feast. Last night I found a moss-clad rock written all around, with the secrets of another history. I might give thanks to the velvet, but it will be wiser not to draw her attention. A furtive truth. Yoink. Also, we're about to finish getting our book read. Elagabalus found his way to the white door, at least. Thankfully, speech can't pass the white door. Honestly, Elagabalus never has anything very interesting to say. I tried to follow in his footsteps, but I never learned enough of the white. I suppose I'm thankful for that too, but here's what I do know. A sexton's secret. Certain knowledge, is said, can be expressed only through the particular quality of silence. It has been suggested that one can only read such knowledge with one's eyes closed, but only by mischievous commentators. Use this with the edge aspect to make the corpse rise. Isn't that with also a moth aspect? Yeah, this with winter And edge. We don't have any edge yet. Next book. We have over here two books, the Orchid Transfigurations, Volume 1 and Volume 2, but they're both in Latin. So we'll have to get this translated eventually. This one's in Greek, I think. This one's in Greek. This one's in Greek. Sanskrit. We don't have any... that's another Latin book. There we go. Anything else? I think everything else is in regular English. I'm just gonna check. Yeah, everything else is in English. Okay, well... Let's go with this one, The Victory of Crowns. Heretic accounts by one Aaron of the hunting and consumptions of supposed immortals by shadowy cults of assassins, published in the late 19th century. Sounds a bit like Assassin's Creed, but different. The assassins are, according to Aaron, the agents of a power called the Colonel, a soldier of the Secret Masters. The account goes all the way back to the Roman times. Alright. So many things rise from the well in the wood. Last night it was a swarm with wormy roots. The trees clustered and whispered, perhaps they were welcoming the influx. I found a sleeping soul ensnared in the roots, and I helped them struggle free. When they wake, they will recall my face as I do theirs. Aaron's scholarships is dubious, but she, writes pithily. Incidents of sudden and violent death are interspersed with aphorisms. Ours don't dream, longs try not to. When our ancestors forged swords, taught the arts of martial movement, spoke curses on the eve of battle, all these things shared certain patterns. Alright, next book. How about the one on the burning of the unbirthed god? Compiled by Hosti Tasman from oral traditions in rural Persia. Ooh, that does sound interesting. Tasman hypothesized a pre-Zoroastrian... Zoroastrian was the old... That's before Islam, that was the old Persian religion. Just like how the Romans had Hellenism, aka the Greek pantheon. The Persians had Zoroaster and Zoroastrianism. Tasman hypothesized a pre-Zoroastrian fire deity whose rites were the rites of smiths. Interesting. The well in the wood is sacred to the Grail, the hour that hungers, and to the velvet, the hour that guards secrets. Tonight, as I approached, it heaved with the velvet's moss struggling, waves of deep and vibrant green, pulsing again and again from its throat. It surged around my calves, rose to my thighs, and this morning I will still feel the velvet's breath, strong within me. Cool. Tasman ultimately concludes with the apparent reluctance that the deity was a goddess. He suggests that this gender may have been the cause of its suppression. The rites described are often eerie, sometimes grisly. Ooh, a rite! Hey! And also the ardent horizon. When we watch a fire, what are we watching for? When we find it, these are words that they will speak. A word that sanctifies the change that comes when the seared skin peels. This rite uses an instrument of power to set the blood afire. Fire is the legion of the skin of the world. The assistance rarely survives unharmed. Alright, so if we want to kill one of my... if I want to kill one of my believers, I might. If I want to summon something, it could be possible, but then I have to dispose of the corpse. Not exactly the best of rites. Next up, the Skellington Songs. Poems of greedy delight composed by the possibly pseudonym Arabella Dusk, the rumored heiress turned maiden turned poetess. Alright. Probably a real person. In Arabella's introduction, she explained that the book was to be illustrated, but the Suppression Bureau would not permit it. She hints that the illustration still exists somewhere. The book is dedicated to Sir Parzival of the Red Cup. "26 delightful fruits, the 7 chastisement, the 9 gardens, the 4 regrets." Strange. Another red secret. Alright. I'm pretty sure we can upgrade our red secret. Like this. Study the succulent lore. Certain words beg to be spoken. It is tempting to spend time in their consideration. Tempting and perhaps useful. Maybe later if I need to. Let's keep reading books. We're almost done. I'm trying to build up money, but it's a bit difficult. We have too much stuff going on right now. The Humors of a Gentleman. Samuel Savage satirical comedy of the intrigues on the ailing but cunning John's son, his mistress Madeline, her lover Leo, and the upstart Cornevo. By the end of the first act, Madeline has revealed a secret door in the walls in the house of Leo, and Cornevo has taken to consuming worms. Okay. Hilarious. Uh-oh. Moreland is closing the bookshop. Moving on, Miss Moreland informs you, my stock is largely exhausted and the Suppression Bureau is taking an interest, so it's goodbye. This last book is nonsense, but I've tucked some interesting papers into the back, as a thanks for your custom. Another Arden Horizon. Boop. And something, deep mystery something. A dreadful souffle of half-digested rumors about the secret worlds and the irrelevance of contemporary morality, including a catalog of unlikely and probably invented debaucheries. If you bought this from a shop, it means they have nothing else of interest in the stock. Okay. And here we have the closed Moreland's shop. This used to be the address of Moreland's, the book dealer, but I'll have to look elsewhere for knowledge now. But I think I can move my headquarters of my cult in there. Can't I? We could use this as a base of operations. Boop. Move our organization's headquarters to the new location. This will permanently relocate your headquarters. No returns is possible. It can reduce notoriety. Boop. I was being notorious anyway, so that's gonna be handy. The play is scabrous and occasionally hilarious. The characters are contrary and capricious. Many of the more resonant lines might well be formulae of power disguised in plain sight. Another Watchman's secret. Alright, next book. The 6 Letters on Necessity. Warnings and confessions about the cost of the invisible arts. Addressed to the student by the 17th century magus and reputedly immortal Julian Costley. Costley's tone is urgent, as if he suspected he might have little time left. Okay. Okay, so I accidentally collected that stuff, but it said something about the necessity of being careful, basically. Basically, that's what this book said. Basically. Up. Next book. The Queen of the Rivers, a surreal contemporary play by the enigmatic Monica Medina, in which the queens of the rivers are murdered one by one. The Queen of the Vistula is poisoned, the Queen of the Dnieper chokes on a fish hook, the Queen of the Tagus is burnt alive. Awesome. I don't know why, but cultists are so positive. They have such a bright outlook on life. The culprit that transpires is the audience. The surviving queens are directed to execute whatever audience members do not escape. A surprisingly lucid epilogue suggests the correspondence of river names with historical events does provide clues to secret histories behind our own. Yay. That's a weird play. Quick, kill the audience. They already paid us, doesn't matter. Detailed accounts by James Colin Murphy of secret bacchanals and ecstatic dances observed in necropolises and graveyards in southern Europe, in Egypt and Anatolia. The author is a self-confessed ghoul and need to have buried flesh. He claims to have witnessed the dances while at his feastings. Alright. Trustworthy author. The dances draw from the tradition of the mysteries of the cult of Isis and of Cybele, but I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but includes both symbolic and literal flayings, and the human heart is always central into the rites. Doctor punctuates his accounts with queasy, sensuous descriptions of his own interrupted feasts. Yay. Good author. Good job, author. Making us queasy. The Mysteries of the Egg Disc Club. White moths eddy through the hall. They perch on the brims of wine glasses and sip. The audience applauds. The woman on stage moves as if she has too many limbs. Moths crowd my arms, nestle against my shoulder. In a little while, I'll step outside and look at the clear, cold stars. I assume I dreamt the whole thing up. The smokes of the clubs are treacherous. Oh, I'm still happy. That doesn't matter in that case. A buzzing in the brain. This can be used in some rites to summon minions, and some minions will leave it lingering when they are destroyed. Alright. I'll take that, I guess. At these greater feasts, a black pig is always crowned as king before its slaying. On its occasion, its heart was weighed in the balance against a knot of feathers, and its skin became a cape for the officiants. Its flesh was left to the crows, but it must confess my interest was not in its carcass, but in the perfumed flesh of the milliner laid fresh in the earth. Okay. Who could hear this and remain unmoved? The sleeping, the dead, the earth in the sky. Use this in a rite with the Byzantine tict or meteoric bullet or other resources of equal power to summon a percusigant. Sounds like a demon name. Next book. We're almost out of books. On the White. Solomon Husher writes, perhaps allegorically, of winter and its long, slow doom romance with the sun. The epigraph is sunset at noon. On one closer investigation, the work seems to be a theory of aesthetics, or perhaps a set of warnings about the dangers of painting. Okay. Oh. Well, would you look at that? Mr. Alden is retiring. I shall be leaving Glover and Glover tomorrow. When you finish your work for the day, come and see me. I guess I won't have to summon a demon to kill him after all. I just took too long to set up my cult. But I could have, you know, just hired somebody off the streets to assassinate him or something. Oh. Strathcoin's residence. The house of Mr. Strathcoin. A collector of rare objects. Strathcoin will not sell his treasures, but a sufficiently cunning accomplice may gain entry. Yeah, so we can send our cult to explore some of these places to get more treasures. But I think we're almost finished the game now. You have shown some improvement under my direction. I have recommended you as my replacement. Remember what I taught you, and you might one day be a credit to this department. You may go. One more thing I almost forgotten. Be especially punctual tomorrow, please. I'm always punctual. A senior position at Glover & Glover. I suppose theoretically I could rise higher if someone died. So yeah, I could also, once again, if I kill somebody else, I can rise even higher. But, if I put some reason in here, and some passion, I will settle into a more comfortable existence. Yeah, I've given up my dreams. I'll live well enough. Quick, before I die from despair. Also, here's the last book. Usher writes, distracted of his hatred of colors and his yearning for death. He hints at a great work he has envisaged or begun, where the palest of paintings will enthrall the world. He returns again and again to certain compelling phrases which he claims are the secret words of winter. Alright. Well, we didn't really get too deep into the occult stuff, but think of this as a young rich person who spends all of his money on occult books just to get a job somewhere and in middle management and retire. And speak of random stuff. How about we just learn some Latin while we wait? There we go. Got some Latin. I recall a certain amount of my school days, but I need to brush up. Aha! I just have a bit of despair. Uh-oh. This is gonna get worse. Quick! Finish your job before I die of despair. It hasn't gone too well, my management of despair. I'm kind of too poor to manage this stuff efficiently. Oh well, we'll be fine. Quick, buy some opium. How much do I get paid? I guess I will never know. Boom! Evening falls. I have my fire, my books, my clock, my window on the world where they do other things. I could have been unhappy. I am not unhappy. This was a successful life, and when it's over, the sweet earth will fill my mouth softer than splinters. This might be considered a victory. Yay! That took about an hour and a half. Obviously, I'm gonna have this thing cut up so you guys don't have to wait a while for things to happen. But yeah, could have been more esoteric. I only got one right. If I had another right, I think I had the resources to manage to summon a couple of demons or two. But, oh well. It happens. Since all the books you get are random, all your resources, your occult resources, are also random. So, yeah. This was a small window into Cultist Simulator. There's much more to see, and I hope you guys are going to be checking it out. Anyway, bye bye.